All right, so what I want to address in this little snippet is what I call the problem of fixed costs. Now, this problem of fixed costs is faced by anybody who wants to start a business. And it doesn't matter how small the business is, it doesn't matter how large the business is. This problem is faced by all entrepreneurs, whether they're a group of 72 venture capitalists or if it's one person in their garage at home. They will face this problem. The basic idea goes like this, is that you can't, when you first start a business, you can't earn money until you have spent money. So let's look at an example of this, just something really simple. Let's say that you want to start a business, and let's say you're going to make t-shirts. Let's say that you buy a machine, and that machine costs about $5,000. And this machine basically allows you to be able to create t-shirts that have images on them or words or something like that, and then you sell them to people, okay? Now, whether you make any t-shirts or not, because you bought this machine, whether you make any t-shirts, you have to pay that $5,000 no matter what. So let's say you finance the machine, but then let's say that you don't sell any t-shirts at all and you don't make any t-shirts at all. You still have to pay for the machine. So even when your quantity is zero, you still have to pay this money. That makes it a fixed cost, because one of the ways that we defined fixed costs are costs that don't change even when your quantity is zero. Okay, so we're going to call this fixed cost. And then let's say that you decide you're going to sell the t-shirts for $10 each, so the price of each t-shirt is $10, okay? Now, a part of the problem of fixed costs, or the main problem of fixed cost, really is that if you're selling shirts at $10 each, you have to pay off your fixed costs first before you get to keep any of this revenue as profit, okay? And so the way I say it is, before you profit, you must first recover your fixed costs. Okay, so you may be thinking, well, how many shirts do I have to sell? How many t-shirts would I have to sell in order to recover my $5,000 in fixed costs? Well, that's a pretty easy thing to do. We can just take our fixed cost and divide by our price, and that may be your thought as well. However, this is missing something. So 5,000 divided by 10, that would be 500 t-shirts. But this is another part of the problem of fixed costs. While you're trying to recover your fixed costs with the t-shirts that you're selling, you're fighting against another kind of cost. Don't forget about variable costs. Remember that while you're doing business, in order to make the t-shirts, you're going to have to, you can sell the t-shirts for $10, but don't you need to buy blank t-shirts to put into the machine? Aren't you going to have to buy ink to put into the machine so that you can put an image on the t-shirt? Those blank t-shirts and that ink is going to cost you money. Those are going to be the variable costs. Remember, variable costs are costs that we incur, that those costs go up as our quantity goes up. And so we can't put $10 for every t-shirt towards our fixed cost of $5,000. Let's say that the ink and the shirts, let's say for each shirt, it's $4 per shirt, okay? So every shirt that you sell, you're going to have to put $4 of that money towards the ink and the shirts, and then anything left over can go towards your fixed costs. And so this is the last part of the problem of fixed costs, is before you can begin to recover your fixed costs, first you have to cover all of your variable costs. So here's how we're going to say it. Price must first cover the variable costs before it can recover the fixed costs. Okay? And so the correct calculation then will be that we will divide 5,000, our fixed cost, by our price, but we have to subtract away the variable cost. So first, we have to cover the $4 in fixed costs, so we have to subtract that from the price. That would now give us 5,000 divided by 6, which becomes 833.333. Now we can't sell 1/3 of a shirt, and therefore it's going to have to be 834. And once we have sold 834 shirts, we will have, in addition to covering all of our variable costs, we will now have recovered all of our fixed costs, and now every $6 that we get from each shirt can now go to profit. And this problem of fixed costs is why so many people become employees for businesses instead of becoming entrepreneurs. Because you have to be willing to take that risk of not profiting, not having an income at first when you first start your business. Now, the other thing that comes out of this problem of fixed costs is it explains why so many businesses don't go into very large industries. It's why there's not a lot of airlines compared to restaurants. There aren't that many automobile manufacturers compared to how many clothing manufacturers there are. The amount of fixed cost that goes into some industries is in the multi-millions, hundreds of millions, maybe even billions of dollars, and therefore it's very difficult to get that kind of capital together and once you started, be able to profit, and after covering all your variable costs, finally recover all your fixed costs. And so it's very difficult to do, and that's why we see a lot more smaller businesses than we see these very, very large capital-intensive businesses.